So from this moment forth, you should make a firm intention to align your mind with the pathway towards nirvana. Sitting for meditation, cross-legged, with your right leg on your left leg, your right hand on your left hand, and the index finger of your right hand touching against the thumb of your left hand, with your hands resting palm upwards on your lap, lightly and gently. Close your eyes very softly, as if you were only half closing your eyes, similar to the way you might close your eyes to go to sleep. Never squeeze your eyes closed. Make sure there is no pressure around your eyes. And fill your mind with happiness and joy, so that your mind feels refreshed, pure and clean inside, free of any sort of worries or anxieties whatsoever. Let go of all of these things. Allow your mind to be empty. And imagine that inside yourself is just an empty space, without any organs or tissues, without any muscles or bones. Just like an empty cavity inside yourself, a hollow space within you, empty inside, rather like a crystal tube or a diamond pipe, bright and clear inside yourself. Today, as we meditate, we'll take the opportunity to look at meditation and how it affects our needs for taking rest. Because once we understand the principles of meditation, according to all the things we've learned from the DMC channel, that the triple gem is located within ourselves, the Buddha gem, the Dhamma gem, and the Sangha gem, we know that these three jewels inside ourselves are our true refuge, the highest refuge for all of us, with no other thing comparable or superior to these refuges, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha jewels. These three jewels are located within us. They are subtle bodies of enlightenment inside ourselves, beautiful and serene, so perfect that it's hard to know what to compare them to in the outside world. Attaining these inner bodies, we have to refine our mind, to make the mind as refined as those inner bodies themselves. The mind has to be as refined as them in order to perceive and experience them firsthand. Thus, the mind needs to be very refined indeed, as subtle as the triple gem itself, in order that we can attain it, even to be able to see or feel those inner experiences. Therefore, our job as a meditator is to refine the mind to a point where we can experience the subtle inner reality. In our everyday life, down to the present day, we have been preoccupied with making our living, looking after our household and family. And these have been the things that have caused our mind to become coarse. Because we have used our mind to think, speak, and take action, therefore the mind becomes coarse. And once it is coarse, it is unable to reach the triple gem inside us. Everyday life habituates us to such coarseness of mind. As a result of all the struggles, conflict, and hardship we have to deal with in life. This is how our mind becomes. Because when we have to struggle, when we have to have the words and actions to get by, sometimes we pick up the negative emotions from our colleagues at work, who are, for the most part, coarse of mind anyway. Therefore, when we come to meditate, our mind becomes gross. Gross and coarse, because it is always caught up with all the thoughts of the workplace. It is always appropriate to deal with coarse phenomena by coarse methodology. If we are dealing with subtle things, then we have to use subtle methodology. If we use methodology to fit the issue, there is nothing we cannot improve. We choose methodology appropriate to the issue we're dealing with. Knowing that the mind is subtle, we must use subtle methodology. It's a methodology which is not the same as for things in the outside world. In the outside world, we have to think, but when dealing with the mind, it's important that we don't think. For the work of the outside world, it's necessary to speak, but for the inner work, we say nothing. For the work of the outside world, it's necessary to move around, but for the inner work, it's necessary to remain still. For meditation, it's imperative that we don't attempt to think, speak, or do anything. We mustn't have any expectations about what we're going to see, because it's unlikely that we're just going to see the triple gem by accident. We have to make the mind subtle first. Therefore, for the period of our meditation, we can forget completely about thinking, speaking, or doing anything. Simply allow your mind to remain in stillness at the center of the body, at the seventh base of the mind, which is located at the center of our stomach, about 2 finger breadths above the level of the navel, in the center of our body. This is the place where our mind wakes and sleeps, where it is conceived and where it dies. We must bring our mind, which normally wanders all over the place, back to this point in the center of our body, in a soft and gentle way, resting it there consistently, lightly, and gently, the whole of the time. If we can rest our mind here in a light and gentle way, we will have a feeling of expansion inside ourselves. Our eyes shouldn't stare down at the center. They should look ahead, as they normally do, because they have nothing to do with the process of meditation. We will have the feeling as if there is an expansion and spaciousness inside ourselves, which gives us the feeling as if our body seems to melt away into the atmosphere around us. Sometimes we may like to imagine a bright object there, such as a bright sphere or a bright Buddha image in our center.